On an island with just 19% arable land, the Bernard Lodge region, historically the site of sugar plantations, has recently provided a living for hundreds of Jamaican farmers. The former Bernard Lodge estate is situated 21 miles from Kingston and 15 miles from Spanish Town. Its property was formerly used for sugarcane cultivation, a rum distillery, and later ethanol manufacturing. Over the years, farmers and SCJ Holdings have been at odds over notices to relocate. SCJ Holdings is a government-owned land management corporation that helps investors in agriculture, tourism, construction, and other areas by selling, leasing, or forming joint ventures with them. Cabinet approved the construction of 604 one-bedroom flats and 980 studio units, together with supporting infrastructure, on the approximately 295 acres of land left over after Highway 2000 construction in 2013. Since January 2021, the government of Jamaica has begun the displacement of the farmers in favor of a project to convert agricultural land to housing and mega-farms. The Jamaican government started displacing farmers in January 2021 in favor of a plan to turn agricultural land into homes and mega-farms. New urban planning ideas and innovative strategies to optimize the use of these lands in this area and create a resilient and sustainable community are being promoted by the Jamaican government. Although the Jamaican Urban Development Plan places a strong emphasis on the ideals of fairness, sustainability, and climate change adaptation, it is having a detrimental effect on the livelihoods of the farmers who are being evicted from their previous plots.
Residents of the Clifton community in Bernard Lodge, St. Catherine, were bulldozed out of their homes early Thursday morning, after it was reported that alleged gangs have captured some sections of the area. Prime Minister Andrew Holness on Wednesday issued a directive in Parliament authorizing the demolition.
The National Security Council, in reviewing the development plan, observed an insidious and growing threat in the area where alleged gangsters were capturing lands in the area adjoining the Clifton community, creating their own informal subdivision and selling these lands under the false pretense of ownership or building on them themselves.
PM Holness notes cease and desist orders were served, this while reiterating the importance of persons acquiring their homes through the proper channels.
The SCJ has given warning and served notice to cease and desist. The capturing and illegal construction has continued to the point where some 30 structures have been identified. Let me be clear. The government wants every Jamaican to be able to own their own home and a piece of Jamaica.
When our news team arrived on the scene, there was heavy police presence along with support from the Jamaica Defense Force. The entrance of the community was cordoned off by the police, preventing members of the media accessing the community. Meantime, senior communications strategist in the JCF, Dennis Brooks, says not all the houses in the area were set for demolition.
I know that there are occupants who are in homes at this time. Our information is that unoccupied, unfinished homes were to be demolished today. Again, there are homes that are occupied that are not the subject of this process.
Many of the residents have, however, expressed their displeasure, disputing claims of the settlement being a haven for criminals. They say a number of the people displaced are law-abiding civil servants, including members of the JDF and teachers. They say they paid large sums of money for the lots they occupied and are now facing an uncertain future. Javine McLean.
I know there is a demolition process taking place. It's an operation that is being conducted by the Sugar Company of Jamaica. We as law enforcement are merely here based on our assessment of the space, our assessment of the situation. We're here just to provide the security necessary for the workmen to do their operation. Our information is that criminal elements have acquired lands in this space. They have sold those lands. They're purported to sell those lands to unsuspecting persons who have been in the process of construction at varying stages. The information that we have is that that construction process, the necessary orders were given by the government of Jamaica to cease and desist. The construction has continued and it's now reached the point of demolition. Again, we are just here in our capacity as law enforcement.
Any resident of here?
John George side.
Okay.
But me recently I hear about land selling over here and I come buy a piece of land.
How much you pay for that land?
800,000.
How far did you reach?
I take it up out of the ground. We spent 400,000 including the workman for the foundation and body, the steel, the cement and the blocks.
Okay.
Me I go look work just to compare workman. And everything, see that everything gone. I don't know what to do no more.
So the $800,000 that you paid for the land, who you paid to?
Me pay to my hairdresser introduced me to the man. And me get the receipt, then give them me TRN and my ID and they sign up the receipt give me. They sign up the receipt give me. Nobody not give me no look one, no look nothing, they not give me. No, I thought me just have pause and so I tell me so they like down the plane. Me just have to hurry for go work. I see that hurry for go work. I $300 me go work in the mountain because I not have it come here see if it below so. So I don't know what to do.
What will happen to the persons who will now lose their houses?
I can't speak to that. I'm not in the capacity to speak to that. I'd put that question to the GOJ.
How many houses are we talking about?
I know that 30 houses or 30 construction projects have been underway at various stages of completion. My information is that not all of them were set for demolition today. You'd have to speak with the other representatives for greater detail on that matter. I know that there are occupants who are in homes at this time. Our information is that unoccupied, unfinished homes were to be demolished today. Again, there are homes that are occupied that are not the subject of this process. There are homes that are not occupied, but they are near completion. They are not the subject of this process either. But the details of that, you'd have to speak to the relevant authorities.
Any resistance?
No, actually, there's been no resistance today. There have been persons voicing their displeasure. There have been persons expressing their frustration, their anger, varying ranges of emotion. And you know, again, from our perspective, we can only empathize with them and the.
On Thursday, residents begged the authorities to stop a demotion exercise. Strong pushback forced a halt to the experiment, but not before 10 of the 30 properties had been destroyed. On Wednesday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness informed the House of Representatives that a criminal organization had taken control of land close to Clifton, which is situated in the Bernard Lodge region, and was fraudulently reselling properties. The people who live there claim to have spent a lot of money on the lots they are currently on. They criticized the government's decision to carry out the demolition operation.